Hi. I'm, it's like what, November 6th right now? It's around like noon. I haven't ate lunch yet. It's in the, it's like in the 40 something degrees, maybe 50 something degrees Fahrenheit. I don't really feel that cold, to be honest. I'm gonna try to do this in one take, and I'll see if I feel like uploading it or scheduling it on my 19th birthday, which is what this video is for, I guess. Because in a few days, it'd be exactly 6 months until I turn 19. And that's like, it's kind of weird to have 19 be that number I want to record this video for. But right now, it just feels like so crazy that in half a year, I'll be a year away from entering my 20s. I don't feel like an adult, man. But like, I don't even know what that's supposed to feel like, to be honest. Like, I've been doing, since moving into campus, I've been surprising myself like a lot in terms of like things I've been able to do or things I've been very comfortable doing. Like, since I don't have like my parents around, obviously, since I'm living on campus, I've been doing so much like talking for myself. Like, I remember when I was sick the second time this semester, I went to the campus clinic and just pretty much did everything myself, down to like making the appointment, talking to the front desk, just like interacting with the people who work there, and just like listening how I felt, and it just feels like so, I don't want to say surprising, but it feels like, I don't know, man. Just, I guess it is just different, but not in like a good, bad, or even like neutral way. It's just like, just being able to do stuff yourself, I guess. It just feels so crazy. Going back to like how crazy I feel like 19 is. By the time I'm 19, it's been over 3 years since I met Feather. You know, like, that's just like, that's, wow. I've known her in her general community for like for well over 10% of my life. I don't know what that means to you now. It's just, it's like, it feels like it's been so long, but at the same time like so damn short. Like, I remember there was a time when we labeled each other as like besties, I guess, and then now, while we're like still like pretty great friends, we have moved on to things that don't prioritize us together. I guess. Um, when she, I guess like when she first met her friend group, it was like during the summer preceding me moving to campus. I would be, I would definitely be lying if I said I had like no sense of jealousy, I guess. But it wasn't more like, I wouldn't say it's malicious in terms of like, uh, well, not really jealousy. It's more like FOMO. Cause like based on like what I've seen from the people she's been with, they seem like really fun to be around, and like I just like wish I was a part of. I just wished I was like really a part of it, a part of that type of stuff at the time. Right now, I guess there's like I guess it'd be like nice to be able to spend time with that friend group, but like it's not really something that's like on my mind too much, I'd say. Not in the sense like there's a strong desire or anything. It's just like of course like it's gonna cross my mind when like I see like Feather's status on Discord saying she's playing like Minecraft or something, because like she's probably with her friends at that time. But like I kind of just read it and just like process it as like as an objective fact, I guess. Like I don't really attach like a positive, negative, even neutral value or meaning to it. It's just like, oh, she's on the server, I see. Damn, it's been, and for my other side of online friends, it's been over a year since I've met the first people from the studio, and almost probably like a month away from a year since joining the actual studio Discord server. It felt nice to have a group of people that like there was always going to be at least like someone in a VC like every single day, and it was nice to like be able to be in a almost like 24/7 I don't want to really say it. It's more like a daily, be able to join like a daily activity between like a group of people that I enjoyed hanging around with. But like I've been like thinking about it like a little bit recently. I honestly don't find like much, I don't want to say, for lack of a better term, value, I guess, in like what I get from that. Because like the more I think about it, the more I come to the realization that most of my interactions with like people from the studio, and mostly just like online friends in general, it's outside of like a few people, it's just kind of just like pushing buttons to invoke a reaction, whether it's like figuratively or like literally using like a soundboard or something. And like those reactions like could be like anger, AOs, laughter, stuff like that. That like made me realize like there's not really any world where I'd consider any of them a best friend, I guess. Like, there's two labels of best friend with like, there's two kinds of like best friends where like, one is like, there is the technical kind where like, since best friend is technically like a title comparing closeness with someone, I guess, there's technically going to be at least someone that you're closest to, even if it's not like, even if it's like not necessarily the best like one-to-one emotional connection relationship or anything like that. And then like the other title, and then the other kind of like best friend definition that I have is like just like actually being emotionally connected to like these friends, and like you actually get more value out of interacting with them than just like being able to laugh with them, like, or just like have fun with them, I guess. Like being able to help, being able to emotionally bond is, I guess, what makes like a actual best friend that I've realized. And it's well, I wasn't like thinking about these like two kinds of best friends back when whatever I'm about to say. Just like, I remember like telling an online friend that like the term best friend doesn't feel right anymore, and it's kind of like, at the time it was like a pretty like underlying but like growing issue, because like we were historically very important to each other, but like when I like DM'd them to interact with them, it's kind of like, I can tell that at times I just wanted to talk because like it's been a while, or they only answered because like I'm supposedly their best friend, I guess, or they're historically important to me. It wasn't not necessarily like that exact, like those exact thoughts, but like those are like, that was like the underlying reason why we kept talking, I guess. So back to what I was saying, yeah, there's just like no world where I would actually call any of my online friends like my best friends. So that kind of just like begs the question of, have I met anyone who I'd consider that with? Not real. It's something I'd have to think about, but the fact that I'm hesitating does say like how I approach my friendships, I guess. Because like during high school, like all my friends, I guess, were people that I talked to during school, but never bothered to actually like meet up with like outside of it. Like we might have like a group chat or something, but we never like actually like hang out in person outside of those school hours, and sometimes like even outside of the class time that we had in common too. Where was I going with this? Okay, okay, I think I got it. So it's so I just like since I just didn't really, and also like there were other friend groups that I was like, I guess, adjacent to, but I never really like was like an active member of those friend groups, I guess. Like they'd without a doubt like welcome me with like no like malintention or whatsoever whenever they want to include me, but it's just like it was really just me not really having any intrinsic desire to just like keep hanging out with them beyond beyond that, I guess. And then bringing me back to my friends at campus, there are definitely like a few friends that follow this like sort of line of follow this like pattern where I don't really talk to them like outside of like a certain class or a certain club. Although like we won't bother to like stop for each other to like to talk if we like run into each other like outside of those classes, outside of like maybe like a brief hi or something. I guess like there's this one person, I obviously can't name them out loud, who I do like spend, I guess like I don't want to say like on a best friend level outside of class, but more like it definitely breaks the trend. It does help that there are like at least like three of my classes and stuff, and in a part of the same one of the same clubs that I'm in. But I do like appreciate how outside of just having fun or laughing, we are able to actually like talk about what's been bothering us, or what we want to do with ourselves. Just like more of that, I guess, like emotionally intelligent stuff, I guess. I don't really, or emotionally aware stuff. And to varying degrees, we do like respond back with like effectively sometimes, and other times not so much. Most of the time it's from me, since so my friend like sometimes like says stuff like I genuinely don't, or like how the hell like does anyone like answer to something like this, but there I definitely do have my moments where our interactions are very constructive, I guess, or very like emotionally constructive. God damn. But like, I just been thinking about like just like right now, what do I like value? Like it's like truly having like a best friend, like what I actually want, or like want to prioritize. And like it isn't like me trying to say I don't care about my friend or anything, but it's just like it's very clear that it's not a core value that I've been striving to achieve, to have such like a big circle of friends or on something that I'm like that I want to talk to all the time and stuff, or like on campus. And it's not like I don't talk to anybody. Like, it's far from that. Like, I actually do, like, really, really love talking to people. I love talking, like, especially if it's, like, constructive and it's not, like, all the formulaic, oh, how are you? Or, I'm doing good, how are you? I'm doing good. And then ends from there. I love having, like, the variety of, like, in constructiveness of in-person conversations, whether it's, like, group projects where I find myself being able to effectively lead my group mates or group members, or it's like talking with someone who has more experience than me or has something that I can learn. And I also been really loving just being able to help people out in almost like a, whether it's for like an errand or almost in like a informal tutoring sort of way. It really, like, those are like the things that I value a lot with social interaction. I've also, like, really loved talking about the progress I've been doing to people like my therapist or my academic coach on like my habits and like ways I've been just, like, I guess, thinking about myself. Yeah. It's in almost like a positive venting sense, which is kind of funny, but a skill that really is something that I've adopted so that I've found to be super effective for myself is what was it called again? Oh, metacognition, which sounds like such a fancy word and shit, but it really just, like, is thinking about it. The common, like, simple definition for it is just thinking about your thinking, which is kind of hard to, like, describe how to do, like, the right way. Like, a good place to definitely start with that sort of thing is, like, just noticing how you react to like, sorts of things. Like, if you're happy or sad or angry or something like that, or refuse to do something that you should, or hesitate to do something that you should do, like, notice yourself thinking that, but at the same time, just, like, don't attach like another almost arbitrary meaning to that, I guess. Let me think. Like, once again, like I've said before, like, I don't think about certain things positively, negatively, even neutrally. I don't attach a value to what I'm thinking. It's just a fact, I guess. Like, and that's like what makes if you metacognitively, like, think the right way, like, doing that is, like, it's just super, I don't say effective, but it keeps you in the most effective mindset, I guess. Like, but it doesn't mean, like, I'm non-reactive to everything. It's just that I will just notice when I think a certain way, like vents. Like, I hear people, like, venting, complaining, be angry about subjects, and, like, I'm not an angry guy at all. I actually don't think I've genuinely been, like, really angry in like the past how many years? It's been so long that I don't even remember. Um, but I noticed myself like almost like internally rolling my eyes whenever I hear people like do that sort of stuff. And yeah, I notice it, and that's it, I guess. Like, it feels like so weird to try to explain why something is effective when you don't understand it completely. Like, I want to give you like a more like some specific examples. Like, I remember just like when people, or more specific examples in terms of like topics and stuff. Like, when I'm in when I like meet up with my group to talk about like a certain like film project or something, the amount of complaining complaining they do about our film professor, it really does hurt my head a little bit. And it really just does get old after a while, because it kind of is just the same complaints, just put into the latest class's context. And then I just stop and think to myself, like, well, actually, I don't want to go there yet. And while they're complaining, I'm like, I do agree with what they're saying, but like, I'm not angry, or I don't complain about it, I guess. It's just like things that I notice. And do they have a right to complain? Like, sure, I guess so. But like, is complaining and venting like truly the right way to go about it, I guess? Is why I internally roll my eyes every time I hear complaining and anger. It's just like, and it also like was, and this like is like kind of reinforced by like a channel I've been watching almost daily, I guess, like on a nigh religious level, in terms of like, but that's like an exaggeration. But I've been watching a channel called Healthy Gamer GG. I promoted them a few times on like Twitter, on the Discord servers I'm in, all this sort of stuff that doesn't really matter. And I don't want to explain too much on what they are. I've already did, and I don't feel like doing it now. But one of their videos, or one of the things that they cover, is just like complaining, like, or after you vent, you do like feel better, I guess. But like, it's in the long term like absolutely like hella ineffective, because like it removes the strong emotion needed to take action. Like, if you let's say, like, fear is a strong like emotion, right? It enables you to do things that for the concern for your like your safety, or something like that. Like, fear is what drives us to, like, I guess, dodge a car that's about to hit us or something, or try to move out of the way, or try to, or run, or fight or something. And that's just like kind of just one example. And then I hear like all these, and then I hear my group mates like complaining about the professor, and like, and while they are valid criticisms, they seem to like forget that the professor at the start of the semester literally said, well, I wonder, did I say why they were complaining? Well, they were complaining about like how our film professor like talks like way too fucking much. And yes, that is definitely a thing that I that I notice, and I do get sick of it pretty quickly as well. Like, they all seem to almost forget that at the beginning of the semester, our professor literally says, if I talk too much, call me out on it. And guess what no one has done since then? Call him out on it. And I remember this, like, in the last time we last time the group met together. And I brought this up, and it kind of, I forgot what their exact reactions to it, but it kind of felt like, even though I wasn't angry about it, I felt like I was more capable of taking action than anyone else in the group, despite not being angry or not complaining about the professor just talking too damn much. Of course, like, it's easier said than done, and I don't know if I'll actually do it the next time I have that class with said professor. But, like, being able to think about that stuff in such a objective matter, like, allows you to just, like, I don't know what it allows you to do, to be honest. But what I do know is that I am not, I rarely get seriously emotional about anything. And it's easy for me to say, since, like, I don't have a fucking, like, week where I'm absolutely miserable due to things about, like, just like having a period or anything, but like that, but it's still definitely something that you can train, I guess. Like I remember, like, being with my, well, I obviously remember living with my mom for like 18 years, and I don't think there was like this moment of the month where, like, my mom is like absolutely, like, crashing the fuck out or anything. And, like, she isn't even, like, old enough to, like, stop having periods if that's how it works or anything. And like, especially, like, during my years in high school, she's like so, like, she's so happy and open-minded, like, all the time, and it really wants me to, like, be I have an idea of, like, what change, and it is kind of personal that I don't want to talk about, but what I do want for myself, or what I want for my best self to be, is to really just, like, enjoy life, not necessarily to, like, always be happy or always, like, be able to laugh or always be laughing, but always just like being able to being able to appreciate the things that I'm able to do, and appreciate, I don't know, it's something that I need to definitely think about more, that I can't wrap around my head at the moment. And I'm not gonna, like, and I won't record again if I remember in hindsight. I'm only doing this in one take. Damn, I need to switch my crisscross position. But it's just what I want for myself is a very developing concept that is evolving, and unfortunately isn't just what I want for myself isn't really I want to play games with my friends 24/7 and have fun. It isn't that anymore. And to be honest, like, I don't think I've actually sat down to play an actual video game for like almost, outside of like streams and stuff. Like, I actually don't think I've done much to do that for like a good week, I guess. And like, and I've also been like refraining myself without much like willpower to just like not join the studio VCs for like hours on end. And it's not just because I know there are generally bad practices and I'm trying to force myself into living a healthier lifestyle. It's just that I have come to generally enjoy things that don't involve those anymore. Like, what I've been doing as like outside of like doing work, and I guess, yeah, just outside of my classes and doing work a lot, is just literally walking around and unironically meditating. Like, I'm sitting in a spot where I meditate half the time, and it's actually a practice that I've adopted like less than 2 days ago, I think. Yeah, I think so. But something that, and it feels like so weird, like saying like I've started meditating, and because like I remember like my reaction to meditating, and probably a lot of yours is like, it's just like, I know it works, but because of this and that, because of like, oh, it's gonna feel so fucking boring, it's gonna, I don't have the time for that, all those like things. It's just like, you make excuses for yourself for why you don't want to meditate, and it does come down to just like, I know it's something that will help me, but I truly just desire just going on a game or something, or scrolling on TikTok, or for like however long you guys are. I don't even use TikTok in the first place. Or like binge watching like 3-hour documentaries on YouTube. But I tried it for the first time like last Tuesday night, because I came back from the group project that keeps complaining and complaining, and I briefly hopped on VC in the studio to like, and I literally complained about them, and then I actually, and within not even a minute of doing that, I literally realized to myself, shit, the complaining is contagious. It's affecting me. So I deafened myself in the call, and I tried to practice 2 things. First was like a simple like balancing exercise, because like if you like try to do like balance in like whatever yoga pose that you want to do for balancing, you can't really think about anything else, because you have to get your ass to think about balancing, or else you're gonna fall the fuck down. But I do realize after like 2 attempts at it that like I wasn't really vibing with this that well. Also, since like I wasn't really understanding what the effect of doing this would be in relation to clearing up my I guess mood, I guess. So I tried so the next thing I tried was meditating, which fortunately worked. And like, it isn't just like your crisscross applesauce put your hands on your knees, close your eyes, breathe in, breathe out, and then focus on your breathing and all that. Like, it's similar to that, but I do like, but I don't like necessarily have to put myself in crisscross applesauce position to like do it. I could just be sitting down. I just have to have my I just have to have what is it? I just have to be sitting up and not have like my breathing like too restricted by like something tied around my waist. Jacket. And it's just like, just all I have to do is just sit down, close my eyes, put both of my AirPods in since they're noise canceling. Maybe put my hands in like a static position, like locking my hands together. And then just like letting out while I'm closing my eyes and all that shit. I take a deep breath, and then instead of like exhaling out, I let out a neutral sound that goes from I let out a neutral sound that will slowly change how it sounds as I close my mouth, and I pay attention, if I truly have nothing to think about, to how that to like the vibrations sound, like from here, from up here, wherever it is in my mouth. Like, I can try to demonstrate it for you like right now, as I understand it. Like, so close my eyes, put my hands like in a static position, breathe in. And what is it? I inhale. I take a deep breath again, and then I inhale deeply once more to repeat the cycle over and over and over again. And surprisingly, like, even though I have ADHD, and especially the inattentive type, you think like, how the hell would a guy with ADHD be able to meditate at all? But surprisingly, like, it's been something that I've almost been like addicted to doing, and I felt like it was really effective. Especially, like, I remember the first time that I finished doing it, after like at least 15 minutes of just like doing that cycle over and over and over again. I opened my eyes and like a funny feeling that it felt like if your brain like was outside of your head, it would like float away. Or like, if you wanted to float away, you could. That's like how like my head, that's how like I felt after doing it. Like, it was like so like, there wasn't like anything trying to grab my attention, and I undeafened myself back into the call, and I was like, oh my god. Wow. It like, I don't know, like, I don't have the words to describe like what like happened. I'm not that type of, I'm not the expert here at like what just happened, but I do definitely feel more relaxed, but not necessarily like nonchalant about like what's important or what I should do. It's just, once again, I notice everything and interpret it and process it as just an objective fact with no meaning attached to it. But it's just that all these thoughts are just like, can go in a straight fucking line. And like, or it's just like I can think almost clearly. I'm trying to refrain from saying thinking clearly. It's just like, or having a clear head, but like, it is kind of just like, or having an empty head even. It's just, it works, and it's hard to process how effective it is until you actually try it and know what you're looking for through the meditation. And I was actually like talking to my academic coach about my meditation yesterday, and it was like really funny how I described the feeling of just like, if I wanted to float away, that I could. That really just like how it felt like. um, like I've also been like taking like notes on the Healthy Gamer GG videos that I've been watching. I don't have the notes with me since I'm just like here alone with like a water bottle, a phone, in my AirPods, in a key card. But one of the ones that I do remember the most was like procrastination, and it's something that it's something that I'm actually like presenting on for like a completely for a different like for a non well, I'm trying to present it in a class, but it's not like but I did it as like almost like a bonus like subject that I wanted to do outside of the curriculum that they were that the class was teaching. And I think I got the okay for that because like what I took away from the procrastination video was very eye-opening for me. It may not be for everyone, but it was something that I found a lot of value out of, even though I still procrastinate like 90% of the time. Although if I were to name an effect, I would definitely say I would hold off on like handling the project until like the last day still. Like I would actually work on the assignment for like the whole day and not instead of like leaving it until like the last hour. But like if there was anything, the things that I took away off the top of my head were, you have a working memory that can only handle a certain number of conflicts and things going on in your head at a time. Like if I'm in my class right now, I'm not thinking about the appointment I have with my provider that's like somewhere in like early December. That'd just like be like, what? I have no reason to think that. But but like for when I'm like taking after eating dinner, like especially like in October, for example, like there were 4 things on my mind, right? It's like one is the 4 things would be like going on the Minecraft SMP, hopping on VC with my friends. Those were like 2 things of the things that like, I wanted to do, and then there were things that I should do would be like I have to do this certain assignment either early or I should do it to better pace myself or do it on time. Or I should take a shower at a reasonable time and not like at like near midnight. And unsurprisingly, the former 2 won so many times that's really hard to count. And like, why is that, right? Well, the thing with procrastination is like they obviously resist what you should do the most, and the things that you want to do will require 0 willpower to do it. So if you want to actually like fight procrastination or make progress on fighting procrastination, I should think about like, what can I do? Yeah, just what can I do, not what should I do, because procrastination works by fighting shoulds and wishes, but not your capability to do stuff. So to give like a general example, like let's say you have to read a chapter in the textbook that you've been procrastinating on, but you have to do it for a certain class, obviously. Damn. Something that you should not do when when trying to do that is like, so a lot of people will say like just get started, but like what I've learned from the videos is that like that's the worst thing you should do. It's like, what does like give me like, not give me an example of getting started quantitatively would be like, oh, just read like a few sentences, or start by reading a few sentences, or start like reading it for like a few minutes. But like, what you subconsciously think to yourself is just, that shit ain't enough. Or what's the point if I'm not reading it if I'm not reading all of it in one go? And so, but what's interesting about that is that I found out after learning that is that there's no cognitive difference, or no practical cognitive difference between taking out that textbook and reading a few lines versus taking out that textbook and reading like 30 lines. Because the actual effort is taking out the textbook, not the reading itself. So what you should do instead of getting started is just like look at what you need to do in order to succeed, in order to fulfill that assignment, and then taking out like one peg at a time, or one part at a time, one little, even like just like a tiny step at a time, until it feels like something that you can do. Like, let's say this is, let me just do this. This is your wants, right? This is your want here. This is like hop on VC with friends, play Minecraft. This is your should, which is read the chapter. Okay, we got the sides, but if you just get started, that's like in read only like a few sentences. Like, look at how little progress you're making. And let's do like what I suggested, and start from the end, and then taking down steps as until it feels like something you can do. So let's say like the chapter is around like 10 pages or something. Okay, because it's easier for me to do the math. Or quantify in terms of like progress. It's like, this is the full 10 pages, this is 0 pages, because you hop on VC with your friends. So I don't want to do 10 pages. Okay, how about 9 pages? No. How about 8? No. And then, nah, not really. And then let's say like you get to like 4 pages or something, and then you will start to think like, I mean, like, yeah, it's definitely something that I can do, or could be. And now, if you did that first, look at like how much progress that you made from just that. Like, a few sentences like is like arbitrarily less than like even 10%, but now you've made over 30% of what you could have done if you started with just a few sentences, just because you started from the last step and then took down the steps, or took down like a step at a time. Like, will there be some resistance? Of course there will be, but like there won't nearly be as much resistance as like taking out a textbook and only reading a few lines, because like the cost benefit of that is almost like there's no benefit for all that effort, you know? What else should I talk about? I remember taking notes on discipline, I think, or no, I don't remember much about the discipline one. I do remember kind of about the willpower notes that I took that I took on for one of the Healthy Gamer GG videos. So apparently there's like 5 sources that lead us to take action, right? There is our desire, which is like fueled by dopamine or the feel-good energies. This is like the things that make you play games, eat fast food, scroll on TikTok, watch videos, watch the hub, all that type of stuff, right? Okay. The second is your emotions, or basically like the fear that drives you to do stuff, or the anger that makes you want to punch a damn wall. Or more like, or it could be like, and it will obviously, it can obviously like lead to more complicated actions than that as well. I just can't think of them at the moment, since like I have like a big urge to pee right now. The fourth, or not the fourth, the third one is, if I recall correctly. Actually, let me think for a second. Damn. Oh wait, actually, the motion was actually the third one that was listed, but I'll label I'll also label it a second. So the third one is like your habits, the things that you don't need. Your ass does not need to think about. It's just like, it's basically like the muscle memory. And then the fourth one is like your ambition, the drive to do things that put you closer to your goals. And then the fifth one is willpower, the things that overrides all these just because and will make you like force yourself to do shit. The thing about willpower is that, like, because it overrides all this shit, well, actually, let me backtrack. Willpower is like a finite but like rechargeable source. Like, it probably recharges like after you sleep or something. So if you only use willpower to do everything you need to damn do, you're going to run out of it very, very quickly. Like every day it's going to be such a damn fight, no matter how much you grow that battery capacity to recharge for that willpower. So the thing that you should do, instead of like increasing your ability to have willpower, even though it's important, is to decrease the other 4 areas of, or the other 4 sources of leading to action, which is the desire, the habits, the emotions, the ambition, even ambition, which sounds like counterintuitive, but like it only exists because you want to do other things instead. I don't recall right now what happens, what they said after that, but it is something that shit, I can't focus right now because I really need a pee. So I'll, but it's just like important to acknowledge for me right now. And damn, bye 19-year-old me.